Ladies and gentlemen, let's see. What's going on this fall? What's going on? Oh, look! That's weird. Jerry Nadler is going to begin the impeachment process by around, this fall? House Judiciary Committee Jerry Nadler said Monday that his panel would recommend articles of impeachment by late fall. That's interesting because the third Democratic primary is going to be, end of September? And guess who's running? Hillary Clinton, who's going to formally announce and utilize the Onward Together Foundation because the prior foundation was an overt money laundering racket. And guess who is just going to announce, what a coinkydink, just when impeachment proceedings are starting. Because President Trump speaks to the most horrendous people, but one congresswoman who called the country I had my bar mitzvah in, accused that country of hypnotizing the world. And accused dual citizenship, and of course accused American lawmakers of only going and looking at the Benjamins. But she doesn't speak to the corrupt mind of horrible human beings. Only Trumpy does it, which, by the way, in my, please go ahead and share. Well, actually, my H.A. Goodman's other channel is going off. I am myself. I am unfiltered, unscripted, profanity alerts. I go off. I don't care about any algorithm. It's just me, it's my wacky personality on steroids. So that is H.A. Goodman's other channel. I'm going to do another segment. It's about why banning ARs or AKs or any other, why that will not stop these mass atrocities. Okay, please go ahead and look at that on H.A. Goodman's other channel, ingenious name, which is, it's like over 3,000 subs now in like a day and a half. Please go ahead, and that's my second segment of the day. And I'm going to actually be, Kalia Noir and TMZ had a debate, and Kalia Noir obviously won, but I'm going to add something to the debate, and there are a lot of false equivalencies, just faulty logic that the TMZ people espoused when saying, well, why don't you just ban this and ban that and ban this and ban that? And so please go ahead and share that. That's going to be below. And I explain exactly why banning an AR or any other, I can go on forever, but I explain why that will not stop atrocities. Anyway, Nadler, Judiciary Committee could recommend articles of impeachment by late fall. You know who's going to be, the Democrats are going to beg Hillary Clinton to run. Steve Bannon stated that he can imagine somebody like, Bloomberg or Hillary Clinton. Yeah, Bloomberg is not going to enter the race. Okay? Joe Biden has infinitely more charisma than Mike Bloomberg. Joe Biden has no charisma. So Bloomberg is not going to enter the race. Clinton is going to enter. She's on the sidelines. Bannon has stated that numerous times. He just recently stated that. Greta Van Susteren also stated that the other day. I did segments on this. She's not going to be part of the debates. She doesn't have to be. Bill Clinton wasn't a part of all the debates, and he wasn't a part of the process most of the process in 1991 before Iowa. He entered the race in October of 91. You can look it up. In fact, we'll do it right now if you don't believe me. Bill Clinton entered in October of 91. Hillary Clinton is going to enter by October or November. Once the Democrats realize they will get absolutely steamrolled by President Trump. October 1991, Bill Clinton announces, Bill Clinton's running for president. Yeah, I'm going to utilize the Oval Office the way it should be utilized, but with my own reconstruction of the ballistic missile system. Honey, can you come here? I want to kind of give you a personalized tour of America's most closely guarded missile secrets. Today in history, in October 1991, Bill Clinton announces he's running for president. Hey, it's October 3rd. Let's see. October 3rd, 1991. Bill Clinton presidential campaign announcement, October 3rd, 1991. So, October 4th, 1991, Arkansas's Clinton enters the 92 race for president. He waited until October. Gee, that's funny because Jerry Nadler's waiting until this fall to start impeachment proceedings. They live in their own world on Twitter. Every horrible atrocity that takes place, they're going to blame Trump. Even though Elizabeth Warren was said to be the preferred candidate of one monster. Notice how I have to speak in roundabout terms on my family-friendly channel. That's why if you want an unfiltered version of H.A. Goodman, go to H.A. Goodman's other channel. It's below in the pinned comment. But here is Donna Brazile on Fox explaining what's going to take place.
Preparing for a Trump impeachment inquiry since the Mueller hearings ended. And now a majority of House Democrats are saying that they suppose such a measure is ready to unfold this fall. House Judiciary Committee Jerry Nadler going even further by laying out a potential timetable. Watch this.
If we decide to report articles of impeachment, we could get to that in the late fall, in the latter part of the year. I think that we will probably get court decisions by the end of October, or maybe shortly thereafter. We'll have hearings in September and October with people who are not dependent on the witness, or it's not dependent on the court proceedings.
All right, so you heard exactly what's taking place. Why are they timing this? They're going to, I believe they're going to impeach Trump. They're going to try to impeach Trump. Well, they'll impeach Trump in the House. They won't, obviously the Senate is going to rally around President Trump. They're going to look foolish like they usually do with the Mueller probe that only showed everything that I've been saying on this channel. That it was a complete setup and they framed him from the very beginning. With Comey, Strzok, McCabe, Clapper, Brennan, James Comey and Peter Strzok are accused by the Justice Department formally of committing crimes. McCabe is under criminal investigation, and Comey was recommended for indictment, just like McCabe. But the William Barr is going to decline at this moment. That doesn't mean that he's going to decline to charge Comey eventually on leaking classified information and a whole bunch of other crimes. But why is this taking place, ladies and gentlemen? I keep saying, when Clinton runs, and she will run again. Greta Van Susteren is not H.A. Goodman. Steve Bannon is not H.A. Goodman. You have people on Twitter begging her to run now. And the way Democrats work is that when it's in the New York Times and the Washington Post and CNN and MSNBC, and then it filters down to your favorite liberal or progressive YouTube channels, well, certain progressive, quote-unquote progressive YouTube channels that pumped the Trump-Russia myth, Democrats, liberals, people on the left, on Twitter and social media fall in line. They do not have an independent thought process, okay? They're not like Trump voters. Trump voters are actually far more independent of thought. If President Trump engaged in a regime change, I wouldn't vote for him, and I wouldn't be defending him. President Obama could destroy Libya. He could get a Nobel Peace Prize. It doesn't matter. He could destroy a country after getting the Nobel Peace Prize. It doesn't matter. He could run on bringing home Americans. He can engage in a surge. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Democrats always, their motto is, well, we'll engage in the same dirty tactics that Republicans engage in. But, however, what takes place is that they push the envelope to the point of we're cheating Bernie Sanders, but we're blaming Russia for informing the country that Bernie Sanders was cheated, and then we won't forgive him for having the audacity to run and ruin our plans to coronate Clinton, but don't worry, there's 2020. Clinton is going to run for president. It is important that everyone understand this because it's the best thing that could ever happen to the country. And it's the best thing that could ever happen to Trump. Getting impeached in the House would also be the best thing that could ever happen to President Trump because it would show just how sinister Democrats are. Impeaching a president in a great economy, record low unemployment, record low Black and Latino unemployment, having signed the First Step Act, criminal justice reform that Democrats were supposed to preside over. And you have, I mean, he's not good at being a bigot. If he's truly that word, he's not really good at being one. You have economic zones that President Trump has created or wants to create in communities that suffer economically. He's the first president to step foot in North Korea, the first president to begin a peace process between North and South Korea. And so, in addition to all record low unemployment nationally, 50-year low in unemployment, he wants to bring home all Americans from theaters of conflict, like Afghanistan. And so tell me how this man should be impeached. His rhetoric is not... Okay, here's what I'm going to explain on my other channel, but in more colorful terms. But, okay, President Trump's rhetoric does not motivate or embolden anyone. What takes place is he literally does not say send them back. He doesn't use that phrase. Look at the tweet. It is not that's not the phrase. Media then looks at the subtext, then publicizes the subtext as if he had said it. Then they say, "Oh my God, look at the environment and the atmosphere this man is creating." They're creating that atmosphere. If they treated President Trump as just a conservative with viewpoints they find somewhat offensive, but they didn't make this caricature, or they didn't paint this picture of the sky falling every single day. And then when they engage in rhetoric that's overtly anti-Semitic, then they just pass a resolution banning, saying that they are against all things that are offensive and all bad things and all things that people say because they have to include Trump in their misdeeds. They have to include the president when they mess up because they can't possibly condemn somebody within their own ranks because then it would be condemning all people who happen to be of the background of that person because Democrats lack basic logic and reasoning skills. They have no concept because they live in a cult mentality. They have no concept of logic or reason because they live in some kind of this mentality. Then they blame inanimate objects that I'll explain in much better terms than I am now for atrocities. The inanimate objects don't float by themselves by the invisible man or by some kind of ethereal force or by Marianne Williamson's love goblins. People do things, and they're motivated and they're incited by their own problems in life. I'll explain in greater detail, and I explained below. If you look at the pinned comment, not only will you see an H.A. subscribe right now to H.A. Goodman's other channel, and it has the potential to maybe surpass this channel. I have almost 150,000 in this channel. That channel's a more raw, unfiltered version of me, so people seem to like it. Democrats want government. They want government intervention. They want government involved in every aspect of life. However, they don't want the president. They hate the president. They can't stand the president, who is the, commander-in-chief, leads the executive branch. That's a part of government they don't like. If it's James Clapper, Strzok, McCabe, Comey, Brennan, they love him. Certain parts of the government they love. They want laws. They want laws because criminals will follow the law. Okay, Clinton didn't follow the law. She had James Comey twist and misinterpret the law deliberately with a cover-up. But why do you think this is taking place? They have nobody right now. They have absolutely nobody who can come close to Trump in terms of fundraising. I keep explaining myself. They're going... Okay, this is all going to... They're going to market this as, oh my goodness, well, you know what? Torn rotator cuff. What is he going to do? He can't pitch. Who do we have? Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. Why aren't I 50 points ahead today? Who do we have? The Golden Moo? No. But the Golden Moo tried to try out for the team in 2016. I mean, does she want to go through this? She put the team through so much. She throws at least 65 miles per hour, and with the media and with Twitter, people will think she throws 102. And then when she loses and throws 5 home run Grand Slam homers and gets rocked, they'll say that Russia did something to where instead of throwing 102, she threw 68 miles per hour. Do you really want that? Look at Trump. Look what Trump is doing. Record low unemployment. First president to visit North Korea. Do you really want this? Do you want this madman? This orange monster? You know what? Put her in. Put her in. You know, the other pitcher gotta hurt his ankle. How are you supposed? Yeah, H.A. Goodman predicted that that person would, step on a, sprinkler and twist his ankle. Yeah, right. This was all just a coincidence. And Russia interfered. We have no clue how many Facebook ads swung voters, or if there were any voters swung. We don't know. We need a commission to talk about that. They live in their own world. They're going to create their own reality, and they're going to use the same tactics that Republicans used in the Bush administration to paint a certain religion as influencing people who committed horrible acts. And instead of that kind of logic, they're then going to say, they're now saying, well, Trump did this, and, anyway, I speak in roundabout terms, but they're creating their own reality, so they don't even need to accept reality. They're in the throes of complete madness. They don't even know, look, when Clinton runs again, it will be natural and accepted and wonderful. The left there'll be a little bit of pushback, but then they'll get steamrolled and flattened, and there will be impeachment proceedings ongoing. So she can always run. The Golden Moo, Madam Cyberhack, can always say, hey, look, you have an impeachment proceedings. And then she could say, no, we don't need to impeach. Or, yes, we should impeach. And I think that they're going to impeach the president. And Clinton's going to say, look, you have a choice between me, and he's already been impeached in the House. Okay? Who knows what they're going to impeach him on? He hasn't committed any high crimes or misdemeanors. So they might go the obstruction route. They might go, he said horrible things. Who knows what they're going to fabricate? But you have almost enough Democrats to get it through. They're going to time it with Clinton running. Why do you think this is happening? And people say, AJ, you lost your mind. Crazy. Well, AJ, the walking cadaver, affectionately known as the exhumed body, lovingly referred to as Botox Biden, does not want to run. Okay? Let the guy relax. Tulsi Gabbard, pretty much ended Kamala Harris's campaign. And if she didn't do it, Willie Brown would have done it. Willie Brown was already trying to, hey, you know what? He wrote in the San Francisco Chronicle, yeah, okay, we dated, big deal. You didn't have to write that. You didn't have to publicize it, okay? Why are you doing that? Because he's a high-level ranking Democrat. He's one of the most influential people within the Democratic Party. That's the way Democrats work. They cheat. If they can't cheat, they foment negative stories within the media. Then he writes, nobody can defeat Trump. So wait, Willie Brown and Steve Bannon are agreeing on the same thing, and Greta Van Susteren, and little old me, H.A. Goodman. So we all know that Clinton is the only person to save the Democratic Party. Who do they have? Beto O'Rourke? Who do they have? Elizabeth Warren? Elizabeth Warren didn't even endorse Bernie Sanders. People on the left will never forgive that. Elizabeth Warren failed her DNA test. There's pretty much no way to do that, and she did. And you're not going to get Democrats to rally around somebody if they don't think that person can raise enough money. It's a fundraising game. Clinton spent $140 million in Florida, and she lost. And Democrats lost. You think Warren will raise $140 million? They need money from investment banks. They need money from wealthy people. They need money from Democrats like to talk a big game because they have Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders saying, we're going to fight for you. And then you get the real people in control. You have Bill and Hillary who speak to investment banks, make $153 million in speaking fees. Anyway, the point is, ladies and gentlemen, it comes down to money. Clinton raised $1.2 billion, lost to Trump. He only raised $600 million. He only spent $6.6 million in Florida, and she spent $140+ million and lost Florida. And from Clinton's vantage point, and from Democrats, and they're going to write this, you'll see the fluff pieces, you're already seeing them. From their vantage point is, hey, we lost, but we lost because Russia interfered. How? Because the DNC emails informed the country that Bernie Sanders was cheated. That's how they interfered, by informing the country of how corrupt Democrats are. Give me your thoughts below. The timing things, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to see this take place. Give me your thoughts. Watch H.A. Goodman's other channel right now. If you want to support my voice long term, my Patreon is below. Thank you.